The funny thing about living in the best dictatorship is that most days, it doesn't feel like one. You wake up to hot water, fast internet, and a newsreader with perfect hair telling you the economy grew again last quarter. Outside, the streets are clean, the subway is on time, and crime feels like something that happens in other countries. Foreign commentators argue online about whether your country proves that maybe freedom is overrated. You just shrug, brush your teeth, and check if your rent payment went through. Repression doesn't come with a skull logo. It comes folded quietly into the Wi-Fi password and the terms of service you clicked without reading. Your phone is the first decision of the day, and also the first reminder that you don't really decide much. There's a cluster of apps everyone uses for banking, transport, delivery, government services all woven together so tightly that opting out would mean living like it's 1995. Your digital ID is in there. Your vaccination record. Your fines for crossing the road on a red light that a street camera caught last month. The interface is friendly, the notifications polite. Somewhere in the blur of icons, there's also a score. It doesn't have an official name, but everyone knows what it means, whether you're reliable. On the morning train, the system works so smoothly, it's almost unsettling. No graffiti, no one shouting politics. A short video plays on the screens. New high-speed lines opening. A smiling teacher in a modern classroom. The leader touring a factory, wearing a hard hat. After that, a 30-second clip about unrest overseas, burned cars, masked protesters, a caption about foreign chaos. The contrast is the point. Order here, disorder there. You're meant to look up from your phone and feel grateful. At the office, the line between state and private blurs until you stop trying to trace it. The company you work for is technically independent, but half the board are party members. HR emails remind you of upcoming voluntary patriotic activities. Skipping too many of these makes a promotion harder to get. Conversations with colleagues have unmarked borders everyone has learned by instinct. You can complain about workload or the price of housing. You do not complain about high officials or the security services. If politics comes up, it's in careful code. Someone might start to rant after a few drinks at a team dinner, then glance at the CCTV bubble in the restaurant ceiling and change the subject mid-sentence. The thing about the best dictatorship is that punishments are often invisible unless they land on you. A neighbor's son loses his scholarship after posting a meme that mocked a speech. Officially, it was academic underperformance. A coworker's passport application is stuck under review for months after their cousin attended a band vigil. No one says blacklist. They just shrug and suggest patience. Fear doesn't look like midnight knocks on every door. It looks like a sudden thickening of the air around your name in a database. But life isn't constant dread. There are Friday nights in crowded bars, indie bands that push the edges of acceptable lyrics, and stand-up comics who tap dance on the line between safe and forbiddance. The regime doesn't want you miserable. It wants you busy, entertained, and apolitical. It offers just enough rebellion in fashion and music that you can burn off energy without ever pointing it upward. Every so often, the mask slips. A small protest breaks out. Videos surface for a few hours before vanishing. You might see shaky footage of people chanting, police in helmets, someone being bundled into a van. By evening, the news says a small incident, caused by misunderstandings, has been resolved. The people you saw in the video seem to have slipped out of the world. You learn not to ask where they went. At home, late at night, you scroll. Everyone under 30 knows someone with a VPN. Through that keyhole, you see a different version of your own country-critical articles. Leaked documents, exiles talking on encrypted channels. Somewhere between the official propaganda and the online panic lies reality, but trying to map it is exhausting. The best dictatorship works, in large part, by making most people feel they're not directly oppressed. As long as you're not a journalist or an activist, you can treat repression as something that happens in the background, like bad weather in another province. You can tell yourself that if you keep your head down and pay your taxes, you'll be fine. And most of the time, you will be. Until you won't. The real tension of living here is not waking up each day under a boot. It's waking up each day inside a bargain you didn't exactly choose. We will give you safety, growth, and national pride. You will give us your silence. The malls gleam, the cameras blink. The trains run on time. You are free to say almost anything. Until the moment you test where almost ends. By then, the best dictatorship has already decided how your story finishes. Long before you ever thought of yourself as political at all. Thanks for watching.